Today, I have a bit of a rant, and that is something I saw an employee engagement calendar so that you can manage your employee engagement activities throughout the year. Now, I think this is a good idea on the surface because, as I have mentioned before, employees are tired and frustrated of having a little bit of engagement stuff thrown at you. But when it's overly scripted like this, there's no real meaningful connections. So, for example, in the first month, it's living our mission. I again, living your organization mission is something that should be happening all the time. It's not a month event. Next month, no, I like this one, celebrating connections. We need human connections. I talk about this all the time, but it's kind of be bigger than just sharing a Valentine with your employee or your coworker. Let them know that they're appreciated. One and done, one time event is simply not enough. These are things that we need to be doing on a regular, ongoing, and consistent basis. Here's another one, Employee Appreciation Month. Why does this have to be just a month? Shouldn't your employees be getting appreciation all the time? And of course, my favorite one on here is the Employee Appreciation Lunch. Again, our employees are tired of the hot dog lunch, of the picnic, of the breakfast, of the snack bar, of the executive roundtables, because at the end of the day, they're going back into the same culture that does not respect them for who they are as an individual, their contributions, their ability to work to the top of their capacity. They were going right back into that same culture. And all of the nice stuff that just happened in the moment, this one and done event in the month, is now suddenly lost because of the culture, because of the very fact that it was an event, not something that we have made part of a daily practice. I don't think any of us did that from a place of, oh, I'm just going to ignore you. I fell into the same trap, thinking that my college age daughter in her apartment with her roommates and taking virtual classes was going to be just fine. And I think I really missed the mark on this as well. I think that all of us were focused on our own needs. We probably had aging parents that we were concerned about. And some of us might have had even younger kids that we really were concerned about, believing that the kids that were in college had enough capacity, mental, emotional capacity, and wherewithal to withstand some of the challenges that they were facing. And they just didn't. The adult brain is not fully formed until about the age of 24, 25. And I just don't think that while we believed they were adult and had the coping mechanisms to weather the storm, if you will, I just don't think that they did. And I think we're seeing the results of that now, with that Gen Z stare being one of the consequences or ramifications that came from that. Because she was experiencing really, really bad low engagement in her position. She wanted to kind of validate her own experiences that she was having in the workplace in a very toxic, unprofessional, frustrating situation. She also wanted to kind of work through some mindset to see if there was something that she might be able to do to make the situation a little bit more palatable for her as she showed up to work each day. She was very seasoned, very veteran in her role. So she had a ton of experience, progressive experience. And in this particular case, was brought into the organization to use that expertise and all of her years of experience. Sure, she was having a great time, really enjoyed the work. The first few months that she was there, she was getting very well integrated in with the team, having really rich conversations about the work at hand. A few months into her tenure there, they brought in a new manager, and this individual was not a seasoned manager. And of course, that doesn't make a difference, right? We have unseasoned managers who come in at any given point in time into our organizations. That oftentimes what happens, and I believe this was the case with this individual as well, is that the managers get into, or new managers sometimes get into situations that, and there's so much uncertainty, they don't know what really is expected of them in the role of a manager. And so they begin to have or experience what I call role compression. I've written about this. If you're curious, you can go to my website and find other blogs on this. In a nutshell, it means that we have managers who are not experienced, who are not ready, who are not prepared to do the work of managing And so out of the stress that they experience of learning this work or not being open to it or not understanding their role, they experience role compression. And that means that instead of opening up and trying to have a better understanding, they can't because they're in a state of stress themselves. And so what they do is they become better individual contributors, meaning that all of the work gets now compressed down into the other individuals on the team. And so they become very task-oriented individuals that are just doing simple tasks and taking orders. So the manager, the new manager, is not only experiencing stress from the new role, but they're actually kind of shooting themselves in the foot because they're not leaning on the team or allowing the team to kind of be present with them and help lift up that new manager through their own expertise and experience.